Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now, and I guess we're going to react to this Giants loss today. Goodness gracious, that was absolutely terrible. Make sure you guys are subbed, though, for more videos like this as we react to the Philadelphia Eagles each and every week. Not only just games, but news and rumors, but you guys want to be subbed for this one because, goodness gracious, that was as abysmal of a performance all around as we've seen basically the entire year. Just make sure you guys are subscribed before we jump right in. Alright, I mean, you watched the game, like what do you want me to say? Philadelphia, losers today on the road against the New York Football Giants, and not only is it a big loss in the division, but it's a big loss for the division, as now the Giants are one game back of the Eagles for the NFC East lead, and this is a game that you go into after a bye week and you say, you know what? They're healthy, they've had 2 weeks off, they're playing the Giants, they aren't that great, like they're going to win this game, they're going to go to 4-4-1 and be in the driver's seat to win the NFC East. I said this all week long. Wrong, not even close. They got obliterated, even though the score is not exactly a blowout, but this was a one-sided football game literally the entire day. We're going to jump into the offense first here in 1 second. First off, give me your one-word reaction to the Eagles' loss. Just one word to react to this one. For me, it's probably embarrassing because this is a 2-7 Giant team. It's a 2-7 Giant team, and you can't beat the 2-7 Giants with the healthiest team the Eagles have had all year long after 2 weeks off, fully rested. Can't do it. Embarrassing. Let me know what you guys think down below. The offense was very bad, even though they had a very good stretch there in the third quarter. I thought we were going to have a tale of two halves, right? Bad first half, then a really good second half, but it was more just like a bad first half, really good couple of minutes in the third quarter, and then just a bad offensive performance overall. I mean, they were 0 for 9 on third down. Absolutely atrocious. The Fox broadcast said first time they would not even convert a single third down in an entire game since like the 04 season when they lost to the Steelers, I guess, during the Eagles' run to the Super Bowl back in 2004. I was young in that game. I remember that game was a bad game overall. But still, they were able to catch fire for a little bit, then held scoreless in the fourth quarter, and you can kind of spread the blame around. Inaccurate passes, drop catches. You can obviously talk about the play calling. You can talk about the offensive line. I mean, there were a lot of bad things that happened on the Eagles' offense, and of course, all eyes will go to Carson Wentz, who on the bright side, didn't turn the ball over. You know, like, yay, Carson Wentz, you didn't turn the ball over. Well, good job, which, of course, has been a real problem the entire year. So no turnovers was good, but he was very inaccurate on a lot of passes. And then, of course, a lot of drops, too. I mean, Miles Sanders dropped a couple passes out of the backfield. Fulgham catches that ball on 3rd down and 10. It's a first down. The Eagles are driving down 7. I mean, there were some plays here that Wentz would like to have back in terms of the accuracy of the throws, but I think the wide receivers were very, 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 very bad today, and it's something we haven't seen from guys like Fulgham or guys like Greg Ward in the past couple of weeks because Fulgham and Greg Ward have been bright spots for Philadelphia. I mean, you got Dallas Goedert back, and Goddard did nothing either, so I mean, geez, it's just one thing after another for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Good news, Miles Sanders was back, and he looked healthy. I mean, he looks like himself. He was very, very explosive. He looked sharp. He looks healthy. They're going to need him down the stretch as the Eagles, again, even though we don't want to admit it, are still very much alive in the NFC East, which is a whole different story. But still, I guess good to see Sanders out there. 5.7 yards per carry is always a positive thing for any running back. I think he leads the league in yards per carry in terms of the National Football League. Nice run there by Boston Scott to go ahead and get the touchdown, which was the one big, bright chunk play the Eagles had all game long. I mean, they have no vertical offense at all. Still, with even fresh wide receivers coming in, no vertical offense. So their biggest play was the 56-yard touchdown run there by Boston Scott. So at least the running game looked semi-decent. And again, the Giants are a mediocre run defense, so you take with it as you will. But at least they look sharp there in running the football. So drop a like just for that. I mean, we gotta like anything in this video. Drop a like for the running game actually being semi-decent. But it was more so the defense that was the main issue, and we're gonna get to that here in just 1 second. First, we need to go ahead and bring up the bet that we had talked about all week long. You know, if the Eagles covered, you guys would win some money. If they didn't cover, we'd go ahead and refund your bet with our friends at BETUS. chatsports.com/EagleBet. Use the promo code EAGLES125. You guys probably did that this week to get a 125% deposit bonus. And we told you, bet on the Eagles to cover. If they don't, which of course they didn't today, then we would go ahead and Venmo you your bet. We'd cover your bet up to $50. That way it was a win-win for you, right? If the Eagles won, you won money. If they lost, then you didn't lose any money because we cover you up to $50. So if you're one of those guys who, of course, did bet on the Eagles to cover with our friends at BETUS, then email us, Eagles@chatsports.com. Let us know. That way we can get in touch with you and go ahead and Venmo you guys the cover of your bet up to $50. So again, if you bet on the Eagles to cover this week and they did not with our friends at BETUS, make sure you guys email us right now, Eagles@chatsports.com. And ask any other questions, any betting questions you guys want about BETUS, go to email them right there as well. I think we're going to do this for one more week. I think that they have a chance to go ahead and cover against the Browns. There are no odds yet in that one, and so get your bets in right now, chatsports.com/Eagles bet. Use that promo code Eagles125. And again, if they don't cover against the Browns, who beat the Texans today, they look pretty good, then we will go ahead and cover your bet, cover your loss, right? Whatever you bet on the Eagles to cover, up to $50, we'll cover it. And you guys, again, do that by emailing us at eagles@chatsports.com. Really thought that they were going to cover today, and they did not. So you guys are the winners in that case because you're not going to lose any money. Up to $50, we'll cover it again. Shoot us an email. Alshon Jeffery did nothing in this football game. I was really hoping that he was going to provide some sort of offensive spark. I kept waiting for him to throw in the football, and then we had one target. I mean, literally one target. He was out there a lot. He was on a pitch count, they said, but he did his full 15 to 20 snaps, and yet Carson Wentz never really looked his way. Jeffery never really opened either. Your lead receiver for Philadelphia was Richard Rodgers, who should not be the leading receiver for Philadelphia at all in any scenario. Dallas Goedert was out there. He was healthy, evaluated for concussion. No worries. He was fine. Couple of catches, but really a non-factor on offense. It was really just Jalen Reagor and Greg Ward who were the two main targets there. Besides Richard Rodgers, Travis Fulgham did nothing today. And I thought Travis Fulgham was going to do something on offense, and yet he basically did nothing as he had a big drop there on 3rd down and 10 on that second to last drive. That could have at least redeemed the Eagles' offense a little bit to get them closer to scoring position. They were unable to. So, wide receiver continues to be an issue in Philadelphia. Yay, even though they're healthy. Goodness gracious. Only real injury to mention is that Fletcher Cox went out with a dislocated left shoulder. They popped that sucker back in, and he was back like 2 plays later. So no worries there in terms of Fletcher Cox and that shoulder injury. I was worried he was going to be, like a separated shoulder, something worse than what he had, but they were able to just pop it back in. No worries. Your only real issue. Cox was pretty good today as the Eagle, again, the front four was your really best. I mean, not the best group all day, but at least they got some pressure on Daniel Jones, and Cox was a big reason that happened. Let's go to overall to the defense. I talk about the front four. Yes, Wayne Gallman ran all over the place, and that was an issue, but I blame the linebackers more for that than the front four. I mean, TJ Edwards and Duke Riley need to start filling some gaps and filling some holes because they are atrocious at that. But really, the main issue here is cornerback, because the Eagle cornerbacks got absolutely abused by the Giant wide receivers. I mean, they got obliterated by the Giant wide receivers, and it's not just the Cravon LeBlancs of the world, the Avonte Maddox of the world, and Nickel Roby-Coleman's. I thought Darius Slayton had a bad game as well. Darius Slayton was really, really good, even when he was matched up against Darius Slay. 382 total yards, 231 through the air. We mentioned Wayne Gallman. I mean, he had a great day on the ground. They had a $151 total. They were very good on 3rd down, at least better than, the Eagles were, because the Eagles were terrible. And they only gave up 3 sacks. And I thought the Eagles' defense was going to have a lot more sacks than what they had. It's just a concern that you could have 2 weeks to study for Daniel Jones and the Giant offense, which is nothing to write home about, and look this bad. And really, I mean, they got worked basically all day. There were a couple of drop passes that went in the Eagles' favor, but really, they got worked all day long. You start to really wonder how much longer Jim Schwartz is going to be put up with in Philadelphia, because a lot of fans are very upset with his performance from a coaching standpoint, and it looks like he's not getting the Eagles ready, which maybe it's the Eagle players' fault, maybe it's Schwartz's fault, but still, gosh, they were awful today. More concerning position group right now. What do you guys think? Linebacker or a defensive back? You know how much I hate the backing core, but the cornerbacks were really, really bad today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. They were bad all around. Daniel Jones, we'll give some credit where credit is due, was really good. I mean, he was accurate. He stood well in the pocket. He made some good throws and ran the football very, very well. 64 yards and that rushing touchdown. Really should have had 2 rushing touchdowns, but penalties helped out Philadelphia a little bit there. This was a good overall day by Daniel Jones, and I think if you're being unbiased and honest, right now, the Giants are the favorites in the NFC East, which is ridiculous, but they are the favorites in the NFC East, and so, I don't know, give credit where credit is due. The 3-7 Giants, look out for them, because Philadelphia looked way worse than they did all day long. They've got to figure something out in that secondary, because they got, it's amazing that you would think the secondary would be the group that would be fixed, and yet time and time again, you're watching them really get beat up by some average wide receivers at best, and as we'll show the schedule in a second here, there's some tough games coming up against good wide receivers. Make sure you guys are subscribed, though, for the latest Eagle news, as I'm sure there will be a lot of fireworks this week, and who knows, maybe quarterback change? I don't even know. We'll cover it here at Philadelphia Eagles Now, again, we're negative today. We're not happy today. I understand that, but they technically still have the NFC East lead, and so they will hold the NFC East lead not depending on whatever happens with the other teams. And obviously, some of those games might still be going on by the time I'm filming this right now here on a Sunday afternoon, but they will still be in the lead in the NFC East, but that lead is obviously dwindled, and if you keep losing, then they will not be winning the NFC East, and that's going to call for some big changes going to happen among the entire football team. But as of right now, The next game is the most important game. You look ahead to Cleveland, which is going to be a tough matchup. Browns can run the football. Eagles unable to stop the run so far today. On the road, it'll be windy, it'll be cold. It was nasty there today when Houston was on the road. Philadelphia has got to win that game because, as you see, it's a tough schedule coming up. I mean, how are you going to beat some of these other teams on the schedule? Honestly, have no idea. There you go. I mean, Eagles lose. It's just frustrating. I mean, you win this game and you take a big leap forward in terms of winning the NFC East, hosting a playoff game, and now it's going to be a nail-biter the rest of the year. Maybe we assumed that, probably should have, but still, the fact they were unable to beat the Giants today and really got handled by the New York Giants is very concerning and very disappointing for all of us here in Philadelphia land. All time we have for today on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Your reaction quickly here on a Sunday. I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.